These are the things that you should be looking out for should you take your vehicle to somebody on that list. So, can paint kill you? Didn't used to be able to, but if you're painting some of these bumpers, it's not going to give you the protection that you think you may have.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another airing of Grievances. This is episode 50. Can you believe it?
No. No, I didn't even want to do one.
Well, that's all right. You're doing good work regardless of whether or not we wanted to do it to start. Folks, thank you for being here. We're grateful for you. If this is your first time, you're family, and we're thankful for you. If you like what you see, give us a big thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, if you're an old timer, still haven't, subscribed, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell. That helps you know when we are producing new content, or just check your calendar, because if it's a Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m., that's where we'll be, right here. And Rob, happy Saturday to you.
Happy Saturday to you. Happy Saturday to you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, so I'm kind of excited about doing this one today. If for no other reason than we're going to learn a little bit more about what we do in a post-repair inspection. And those are the words that you, the driving community, may or may not have ever heard. But we're going to tie it in with a little bit of your story. People want to know who you are, Rob. People want to know about you. And so...
well, that actually, it fits into, what we've been talking about, just from a different angle.
It does. It does.
Yeah. So many years ago, I went to the doctor and was not feeling well, and turned out that I needed some surgery.
Right.
And doctor said, you're going to need to go see a surgeon. And I'm like, well, okay, I don't know any surgeons. And she goes, okay, well, what's your insurance company? I laid out what my insurance company was. She went to her handy dandy list and said, okay, here, why don't we try this guy?
These are in-network surgeons.
Yeah, so that, it was covered under my insurance. And, went and had the surgery done, and my life has never been the same since.
I would like
not in a good way.
I would like to tell you it was in a good way, but I've known Rob for many, many years, and to this day, you are still dealing with the after effects of that surgery.
They did irreparable damage, not only to what they were doing the surgery on, but to other parts.
Yeah.
That can just never be fixed, and there is no fix for this stuff. And some days it's debilitating, and we get through it. The point of it is, I pick somebody off the list.
The insurance preferred list.
The insurance preferred list, people that would be covered under my policy, and that I wouldn't have to worry about anything, and all the rest of that. And it just, it was because of rough, gruff way that they approached the surgery, and naturally I was there, but I wasn't, because I was sound asleep.
Yeah.
So it was just a very, very bad time. Can't get fixed, but it makes me wonder if maybe the insurance company only paid X amount for this type of a surgery.
Yep.
And that person maybe scheduled 10 for that day and rushed through them, and I didn't get all the care.
Now, you may be here at this point in the video thinking, isn't this about cars? And it is. You see, this tie-in makes it very personal for you, but it also makes it very personal for you, because these are the very same things that we're talking about that can and do happen on a daily basis when we're dealing with a vehicle. You get into an accident, something you didn't ask for, something that just happened, right? And you go to your insurance company, because that's what we've been programmed to do, to pull out our card, turn it over, and dial the 800 number, right? And once you call that insurance company, we have a video on first notice of loss.
Yep.
I'll put a link to
They
that.
want to be that first notice of loss.
You bet they do. And so, you know, they talk to you, and the first thing after establishing that you're okay, next thing that they do is tell you, well, we have, you can choose anywhere you want to go, but we have a list of 3 or 4 preferred shops that we'll send to you, and
they'll take care of everything.
they'll take care of everything.
Everything's going to be fine. And I got to tell you that, you know, this surgeon wasn't the only surgeon on the list. There were other surgeons.
Yeah.
And I probably should have gotten a copy of the list and gone in and researched each one of them, which is, if you're thinking about taking, you know, somebody off the list, do your research on each one of them.
Right.
To decide what is probably your best choice out of this group if you feel as though you need to use somebody in that group.
Yeah.
I did not do that.
Yeah.
And had I done that, you know, after the fact, when everything was going wrong, I went back and looked and went,
Yeah. You're not the only one who has had stories of irreparable damage with this particular surgeon.
yeah, you can't reverse what's been done. So,
All right. So let's shift gears now.
Yep.
And talk a little bit about what you brought to show us.
yeah,
'Cause-
and what I brought to show is stuff that we have, repairs that we have inspected because people didn't feel comfortable with their car for some reason or another, couldn't find any help, and maybe went back several times. In case, you know, all these cases they went back several times
and these are cars that have been repaired by somebody else.
by somebody else
Yeah.
in the network, in the insurance network. They were on the list. So these, and they're not all the same. I mean, they're not all the same.
Yeah, if the insurance company is saying we have these preferred or in-network, body shops, that's what he's talking about, and
Yeah.
they're not all the same.
They're not all the same. And even if you go to like a franchise or a national chain, each one of those stores is not the same.
Right.
But what I want to show you is some of the stuff that we have seen with our own eyes and I have thousands of these pictures. I just picked a few just to show you the point.
Yeah.
And some of them I picked out so that you can actually look at yourself. If you've been in a repair, you can open up the hood and see some of these things and look for them and know if you're in for trouble or not.
All right.
So we're going to start with something that every one of us has seen,
Yep.
which is a car that the paint obviously does not match on.
That's a nice way of saying it.
Yeah. It almost reminds me of one of my favorite shows, MASH, where they have the pinstripe suit with the pinstripes going the wrong direction.
Yes.
This is, again, we've all seen these cars on the road, and paint, is not going to kill anybody, or will it? Because today, and a lot of people get quick bumper repairs done, but many of the vehicles have sensors behind those bumpers and can only have so many layers of paint on the bumper before it doesn't see through the bumper correctly.
Really?
Especially in the case of blind spot monitors.
Okay.
Or ultrasonic sensors in some cases.
So the thickness of the paint.
Can distort what it's looking through the bumper.
All right.
Like the bumper isn't even there. But if you add layers of paint or even a repair or something, then the sensor doesn't see correctly. And the sensor doesn't know it's not seeing correctly.
Right.
So it's not going to put a light on the dash or say, hey, something's wrong with me.
Right.
It just isn't going to see correctly. And can cause you to not notice that there's somebody in your blind spot. Or in the case of using cross track, which is you're backing out of a parking spot and somebody's coming up the alley,
Yep.
it would alert you that there's movement, stop.
Yeah.
It may not see that person or that car coming up or approaching, and you're not going to know it. So, can paint kill you? Didn't used to be able to, but if you're painting some of these bumpers, it's not going to give you the protection that you think you may have.
All right.
In some cases. So let's just here's a picture of a bolt.
Yeah.
It obviously is not in the center
No,
of where it belongs.
it does not look properly installed.
And so what happened here is there's something else wrong with this vehicle, and they took a drill and wallowed out the hole in order to attach the fender with this bolt. But if you have to do that, that means there's still something wrong with what you're attaching that fender to. And that's an easy one for you to see. And the next one is the same scenario, only that's a headlight bolt.
Okay.
So that holds your headlight in. So open up the hood, looking straight down at your bolts with the headlight. If you see that it's not in the center,
Yeah, there's a gap clearly.
there's a gap and it's not in the round part.
Right.
Something else is wrong. Somebody did that. It's not the way the part was made.
Okay, so and I know that you can't troubleshoot everybody's issues here through this video, but in this case, do we start looking at possibly the frame is bent, or
Yep. The frame is bent, or some inner structure is bent. Something is not correct.
Okay.
If you have to do those sorts of things.
Yep.
Now we're going to go on to a simple, bulb. The socket that the bulb is going into was damaged in the accident, and in order to save money and save time and so on and so forth, instead of replacing the socket like should have been done, they just wrapped some tape around it and then wrapped the wires around it so it would all stay together and not create any kind of a short, which at some point it will, because we all know electrical tape isn't a lifelong fix.
This is what we're looking at with the arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Just ridiculous. The next one is this is an air conditioning condenser, so it's the first piece, basically mechanical, that you can see looking through your grill.
Right.
And they get damaged with rock chips and bugs and all sorts of different things, depending on what kind of bumper and a grill that you have. But here's the interesting thing about this one: you can see the damage on there, the wear and tear. But the estimate says that was replaced brand new.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
And this car was brought to us right from the repair facility because they already had problems.
So the repair facility got paid for a brand new
part. And claimed that that's a brand new part. And
there's no way that's new.
I'm telling you right now, it's not new. But how would you know as the consumer? Unless somebody points it out to you. I mean, it's very difficult to read the estimates and understand everything that's on there.
Yeah.
And then, to look through and say, how would you know? You've always been looking at that.
Yeah.
Unless you knew you were supposed to get a new one and it should be shiny black and no damage.
We trust the people who are supposed to be repairing our vehicle.
Yeah.
All right, what's this next one here?
This next one, this is...
Ooh, I see it in your body language.
This is a bent suspension trailing arm that was delivered to the guest still bent instead of being replaced.
Once metal is bent, isn't it fatigued forever?
Yeah, and this is a suspension piece. So, that's kind of a critical piece. This next one is also a critical piece. And again, you may not think, too much about, the wires having electrical tape around them and stuff like that. But if you look at where that wire goes to with the little white cap on it,
Yeah.
it's an airbag sensor.
Oh.
And one thing we do not do, and this particular manufacturer specifically says do not do, is repair a wiring harness that goes to an airbag sensor. You replace that part.
The entire wiring harness.
Well, wherever it goes to and
Yeah,
plugs
yeah.
in naturally next.
Right.
So again, these are just things that and these are little things. I'm not even bringing up the huge things that we see. I just, stuff that you can easily understand.
Yeah, if your airbag goes off even 1/100th of a second delayed, bad things start to happen.
Incredible.
All right.
Incredible. So I'm first going to show you this picture without any markings on it.
Yeah.
And you'll notice the gap from the hood to the fender doesn't really look right.
Right.
And where the headlight tucks into the fender at the back doesn't look
No,
right.
it doesn't feel like it's positioned correctly at all.
But if you look real close at the marker light that is inside the headlight, it's actually broken.
The amber.
Yeah, the amber piece.
Yeah.
It's actually broken inside the headlight. This is an aftermarket headlight, by the way, not a factory headlight. And the story gets better, but I'm just gonna scroll to the one where I've circled, where you can see where I'm talking about.
Yep.
It's easier for you to
Oh,
notice.
sure. Yeah.
What's going on there. Please. The next two pictures are the same car.
Okay.
Okay? The passenger side has a black tinted headlight.
I'm sorry. How did this get out the door?
The driver's side has a chrome headlight. So not only do we put an aftermarket part in it, we couldn't even get the right aftermarket part. And even though we had an aftermarket part in our hand, we couldn't see that inside the marker light was damaged. It's just, these are the things that you should be looking out for should you take your vehicle to somebody on that list. And if you need help or have questions, we do this all day long. We'll take a quick peek at it. There's no charge for that. And if we see that there's something more that needs to be done, then we'll talk to you about that.
I'm going to put the phone number for Nylund's Collision Center. We're here south of Denver in Colorado. Even if you are watching this from some other state and you want our input on it, what you can do is call that number, and if we are unable to help you with a photograph or two, what we can do is make a referral.
Yeah, we have people.
Absolutely.
We have people all over. But this is, this is the stuff that we're coming across. These are light little things that I'm showing you.
Yeah.
By the way, some of these things led to these vehicles actually being totaled for the bad repairs.
Right.
But if they hadn't come to us to have it looked at, one of these guys would be driving around with a bent suspension piece,
right,
which on dry road may not be a problem, but as soon as you get onto wet or icy or snowy roads, now the tires,
the torque, all of it,
all sorts of different things.
Well, and you ask yourself, well, how bad could it possibly get? Well, this video that I'm about to show you is one that we did an entire video about.
This gets the Grand Poobah Award for this year, probably the worst I've ever seen.
This is a Honda, and it came from an insurance preferred shop, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe the owner actually worked for the insurance company.
Yeah,
is that
as an agent? Yeah. And so this car. This is them driving it home from the shop.
After the repair.
After they picked it up. And so you'll see that...
Rob, this is horrible. I mean, listen to this.
Turn your volume up. It's crazy. And there's obviously you can see that there's children that would have been present. And if you look at that seat and imagine the way it was shaking with an infant in it,
it's horrible, and if I'm not mistaken, this car was eventually totaled.
It was totaled, yes,
and it was a brand new vehicle. So it can get bad, and if you have any question at all, if you take it to the shop because of your financial situation or you just weren't educated about this until you came across these videos, and you are concerned about the quality of the repair that came back to you, don't hesitate. Here's the number again, the Nylund's phone number. You can go to the description box below, find our contact information, reach out to us. We are more than happy to help in any way possible. And the reason that we do this, Rob, is sometimes if you go with the insurance preferred option, irreparable damage can happen.
Well, with the car, you can at least get rid of it.
Yeah.
When it's your own body, it's a little different deal.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, if you know somebody that's been in an accident, it's getting their car repaired, you may want to just show them to look out for these types of things. And if they have any questions, we're happy to help.
Absolutely.
On that note, we have next Saturday
It's Christmas.
is going to be Christmas, so
Yeah.
I want to wish each and every one of you the most joyous time with family, friends, and
Yeah.
enjoying each other, and a time of giving. And God bless you. You've given me a lot, and I appreciate you so very, very much for tuning in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank
Merry
you very
Christmas.
much. Merry Christmas to you all, and to you, my friend.
Yep. God bless you.